Hi everyone. My video isn't going to be high tech. I'm not going to have different scenes. I'm not going to have lots of people. I'm not going to have voiceovers or any cool stuff. I'm not very good at that. I'm just going to talk and say my piece and, analyze the part of the text that I have. So, the part that I was going to talk about is the part in the story where Cal talks about himself while he's on the train and about when he talks about him compensating with his masculine clothes and his cigar. I know that this is smaller, like way smaller proportionally in comparison to the rest of the book that we've read, where it talks about Lefty and Desdemona and their interesting relationship. And I wanted to talk about another part in there that's really interesting about their relationship, but I read ahead a little bit, and that's not part of our reading. So I'm just going to talk about the part where it talks about Cal, and I thought this part was really interesting because considering that he is the main character, we really haven't gotten a lot about who he is, what really is his part in the story other than the main character. Obviously in the writing we've gotten a lot of different ways that he may be thinking, but we haven't really been able to see a lot of different parts associated with Cal. So I thought this was a really interesting part, and I tried to really grab onto what they were saying because it was just a little glimpse into him now, which we haven't been able to see. So I thought it was really interesting because I personally didn't look very deeply into the disorder, the alpha-5 reductase deficiency that he has, and I thought it was really interesting when he explained that it doesn't, other than the in utero development, the physical genital development, he didn't have very many differences associated with adolescence and sexual characteristics and development, and he talked about having desires and stuff like that. So I would have assumed that it was abnormal consistently. So I thought it was really interesting that he was like trapped in a female body and having this male development and growth. I thought that was really an interesting part, which really says a lot about his development, considering that he was raised as a girl and thinking and living in his mind, as male. And that part where it talks about how Calliope comes back to him every once in a while. I thought that was a really interesting part associated with his character and how he will forever be, understandably so, intertwined with Calliope, because that is part of who he is as well. Let's see. Oh yeah. So back to his cigar, I thought it was really interesting when he was talking about himself and his jacket and how it was masculine and how he had a cigar and how he was overcompensating and how he said that was okay considering what he had been through. And I totally agree, but I thought it was interesting that he thought that important to bring up, that it was not just that he was compensating, but that it was acceptable and that he basically was given a free right to do so. Just not really seeing to, just trying, I thought that was an interesting part, and, I'm really hoping that we'll get to see a lot more of, basically his development as a person, to see what type of person he really is, and, other things that he may have gone through. So the way that I, read into that was that, this overcompensation it must be a safe place for him, considering his childhood, that, acting that way or wearing those clothes or smoking that cigar must be a really safe spot for him to be in, considering the situations and the circumstances associated with his childhood. So that was the part that I wanted to talk about. That was how I thought, what I thought of Cal, and I thought that was really interesting. See you guys next week.